Hi, I'm Jason Behrens, one of the head instructors at Denver Historical Fencing Academy. We've launched a virtual longsword training program called DHFA Online. DHFA Online is designed to build a good foundation for longsword and historical fencing in all of its forms, both for people who are looking to join DHFA eventually, as well as people who have been interested in learning longsword but don't have access to a club or school close to them. In this video, we're going to go over the minimum space you'll need for DHFA Online, as well as sword trainer options, with prices ranging from free to prices where you question your life choices. In terms of space, keep in mind that you aren't doing burpees, push-ups, or yoga. You're going to want a space where you can do 2 to 4 walking steps in both front and back directions from your starting or neutral position. A good way to make certain that things aren't going to be in the way is that with an outstretched arm and a kitchen utensil or a stick 1 to 2 feet in length, circle in the middle of the room and make certain that nothing will obstruct or be broken if struck by an indoor trainer. While everyone's first instinct is to go out and buy a sword right away, we actually strongly recommend avoiding investing much money into a sword or fetter until you've gone through the beginner's course and are excited to join in-person classes. Why is this? Because sword simulators or sparring swords, which we call fetters, are one of the most expensive pieces of gear that you can buy, and each one has its own personality and quirks. But as someone who owns more swords than they can count, trust me, I understand the urge. Now that I've done my best to suppress your sword buying urge, let's talk about what your options are. The most important part of the sword to simulate isn't the blade, but actually the hilt or the handle. In our system, we focus on what our hands are doing to manipulate the weapon rather than what the blade is doing. So for indoor use, we're looking for something in the 24-inch or 60-centimeter range. The easiest, cheapest option we have is a basic steel pipe, either black steel or galvanized. You can get these for $10 or less at Home Depot and are already decently weighted at around 2 to 3 pounds. The next option is a filled PVC pipe. While not as cheap as the steel pipe, this is an option that you can customize the length of if you have a bigger space, and can also modify the weight of the tool to be 3 pounds or above, which is actually closer to a typical weight of a longsword. To make this option, you'll want a length of PVC pipe that you can cut down to size, any kind of glue, grip tape, 2 end caps that fit the diameter of the pipe that you purchased, and something to fill it with. Install one of your end caps after wiping some glue on the inside. Next, fill the pipe. You can fill it with nuts, sand, birdshot, whatever you have, just not food. If it feels like it's getting too heavy or you just don't have enough fill to complete the entire blade, go ahead and pack it with paper or paper towel. Once the weight feels good, wipe some more glue on the inside of the other end cap and install it. Make certain you're getting a really tight fit on both sides, as we don't want to send your weighted material all over your house. The last step is to measure out a good grip length for the tape. We usually recommend 10 to 12 inches or around 27 centimeters. Once you've got a decent grip measured, go ahead and wrap that portion. Thankfully, some companies make indoor trainers for us already, which are basically just the hilt of a sword with a weight to simulate the blade. These are a great option if you want to spend the money, and I use one myself. Purple Heart Armory sells a steel version for about $145 and a wood one for $85. But out of all of the purchasable options you have, this is the one that I recommend the most. The last option is really only viable if you have the space, but it's more economical than purchasing a full steel or fetter sword. To reference Purple Heart Armory again, they sell nylon and wood swords or wasters, and these range from $60 to $110. Do note that while synthetics can be used for sparring in the future, wooden swords should not without a trained instructor. And that is it. Once you have your sword or sword simulator and a space where you won't break anything, you're ready to go with DHFA Online. We're excited to have you join our community and learn the joys of historical fencing.